Hello.
Then, now,
Showdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
forever.
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, I'm at episode number 52 of the TEW IX Challenge Run. We're here for SmackDown for Friday, the 11th of October, 2024. We are on the road to the Auckland Assault pay-per-view. Last week's show was the first show since Bad Blood in Paris. And we've got some major steps towards that pay-per-view, including our opening match tonight is Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, one-on-one, with the winner facing Xavier Woods for the World Heavyweight Championship at Auckland Assault in 3 weeks' time. No, 2. Yeah, it's 2 weeks from tomorrow in-game. And, yeah, on top of that, we also have a tag team match. Candice LeRae and Dakota Kai, the Women's World Champion. She's back this week. I don't know what the state of her knee's like, because she did still harbouring that injury from Charlotte's attack at Bad Blood. But Candice has got them in hot water, and they're going to team up against Kyrie and Ember Moon tonight. And we have our main event for the WWE Tag Team Championships. It's going to be Ja KO defending against the Revolution's Nebo Barnes and Rufus Hamilton. Yeah, if I do say so, this is very much like Raw, where I feel like I've packed a lot of stuff in here tonight. Again, it's kind of all filler, or all killer, no filler. I said, before we had Bad Blood and High Voltage and Bash in Berlin, that those were the seed planting stages, and I feel like we're now starting to get to the point where everything's going to start picking up. So yes, that's me getting hyped for this show. But yeah, without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Okay, I'll take an 81 for a lot of factors that I'll get into in a minute. So yeah, Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, just a hot, wild brawl to open the show. Hot opening, no opening promo, just immediately straight into the match. Xavier Woods and the New Day on commentary. MVPs at ringside of Lashley, and he's probably mouthing off at Woods and Biggie and Kofi on the outside as they're commentating. He's going, "Shut your dumb asses up." And then, of course, Drew McIntyre, being Drew McIntyre, is going to get obsessed with Xavier Woods. He's going to, take steps on the outside and, stare across at him, trying to intimidate the New Day. He gets into the ring. He eats a spear from Bobby Lashley. He kicks out. And Drew McIntyre hits a claymore on Bobby Lashley. He kicks out. So, betrayed it finishes a piece. And towards the end, McIntyre, he headbutts Bobby. He hits the kip up. He backs into the corner. He goes for the 3-2-1. Lashley scoots to the outside of the ring. And Drew looks like he's about to go to the outside. But then as he does, Swerve Scott appears from out of nowhere. He jumps off the barricade. He nails a swerve stomp on Bobby Lashley, which causes a disqualification, of course. So, Swerve wanted to get his revenge on Bobby Lashley here tonight, and in turn, he's accidentally cost, I guess, Drew McIntyre another shot at the World Heavyweight Championship, and he's pissed off. The second the bell rings and they announce Lashley the winner as DQ, Drew McIntyre is livid. He goes onto the outside and he gets into the face of Swerve, and him and Swerve have a tense face-to-face. And Swerve does sort of laugh in Drew's face, because this goes back to Clash in the Castle, when Swerve pinned Drew McIntyre clean in front of his hometown. And so just laughs him off and he goes, "What you gonna do about it, Drew, huh?" And then him and Drew get into a fight. Lashley starts getting into a fight. And then, the New Day spring to life. Xavier Woods goes up top, he hits a dive on all three men on the outside. We get a big four-way brawl around ringside. Now I'm pissed. I was like, enough. Swerve, I understood your frustrations. You want to get back at Bobby Lashley after all these months of trials and war with the Hurt Business. I get that. But tonight, you ruined a perfectly good #1 contenders match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then Drew's brother goes, "He also cost me a shot. You want to sort this bitch out, okay? You can't be running around here getting involved in championship matches that don't concern him." And that Pierce goes, "Normally, I wouldn't like to reward this kind of behavior. I've got another guy I'm trying to deal with on this show after he went into business for himself last week. So here's a solution that I think can appease everybody. We're gonna cut the bullshit. in 2 weeks' time, in Auckland, New Zealand, Auckland Assault, the first WWE Premium Live event in New Zealand, Xavier Woods will defend his World Heavyweight Championship against all three of you in a fatal 4-way match. It is official. So yeah, there's our big World Championship match, Drew and Woods shitting the bed at Bad Blood, I say I'm not going to keep bringing it up, but it is important lore for me to, discuss this about. I've said it before, I was going to do Drew and Woods again, singles, but I didn't want to run that and Charlotte and Dakota again. So the 4-way felt like the most fitting, best option. Plus we're building towards, you've all got eyes, you can see what pay-per-view we're building towards after Auckland. So, this is very, very appropriate, because I'm literally recording this December 1st, 2024, the day after Survivor Series in real life. So, it's a topic I want to get into as I got closer to Survivor Series in game, but it won't be as timely, so I'm just going to do it now. Obviously, we're building a lot of, Survivor Series matches, and, the conversation has always been, they shouldn't do a War Games match unless they have, the right storyline to do a War Games match. And that's where Schrodinger's Connell sort of comes in. Because I completely agree with that mindset, but also I factor in Survivor Series and War Games into my booking when I'm making my plans. So I will always have a storyline that I think is valid for War Games going into Survivor Series because I know it's coming up. But yes, all these men are crossing paths for a potential, no spoilers, match down the line. So putting them all in a 4-way felt like the right thing to do, and it'll be fucking sick. So yeah, Xavier Woods has got his back against the wall against these 3 men, 2 giant men, and then arguably the best World Heavyweight Champion in many years. 4-way, Auckland. Let's do it. We then see Candice LeRae sort of pacing around her locker room. She goes, come on, Candice, tonight, it's pretty obvious what you gotta do. Last week, you made a statement perfectly clear, You may have taken it a bit too far on Ember and Kyrie, but, you got a statement perfectly clear. You need to get that Liberty Championship of yours back. I don't care who holds it, okay? Anybody who holds that championship is an enemy of yours. But tonight, we've got to get through tonight. Then Dakota walks in. She's still sort of, kind of limping. It's like, hey. Because, hey, sorry about last week. I sort of got us in hot water with Ember and Kyrie. Dakota goes, no, it's fine, I don't even really know if I'm good to go tonight, but hey, anything for you. You called upon me and you got me booked in this tag team match tonight. Candice goes, but we got an important message to send tonight. I know it's Kyrie and Ember, a woman who you respect because you beat the hell out of each other a couple of months ago and she brought this new side out of you, and then Kyrie, who is, she's Kyrie. But we've got to make sure we win tonight. It's really important. Because I need to get that championship back more than anything. Dakota goes, relax, it's fine. We'll do it, it's fine. So Candice stressing a lot about this upcoming tag team match. They get a quick video package. One that they probably should have aired in real life, but they didn't, so here we are. It's a Motor City Machine Guns video package, of course, kicking off with Gargano introducing them in the main event last week, where they beat Pretty Deadly and Brooks Jensen. And it's just, the history of the Motor City Machine Guns. Why are they your favourite tag team? Well, because here they are. 2 decades. Again, also, you've got the relationship with TNA, use the TNA footage. 20 years ago when they became the most revolutionary tag team of a generation, all the modern tag teams, both in this company and worldwide, influenced by the style that Shelley and Sabin brought to North America. And they've won championships everywhere they've gone. They've won championships in Japan. They won championships in TNA all across the independents. The only place they never got it done was WWE, and they never really got that opportunity as a team to do it in WWE. And, they're an influence on not just the tag teams, but also Johnny Gargano himself, was trained or, mentored by Alex Shelley when he was first getting into the business. So, it's 20 years in the making, and they're finally here, Gargano introducing them to the company. Then we sort of fade out and Gargano's in his locker room, watching the video in his locker room when the Labyrinth walk up. They go, wow, the Motor City Machine Guns here in WWE. You know, Drake, for a long time, we like to search for our own holy grail, but for a long time, the Motor City Machine Guns, they were the biggest holy grail of the WWE Tag Team division. It was always what would happen if Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin made it to WWE. Now we haven't even got to wait. We haven't got to speculate anymore because they're here. They're on the same brand as us. You know, two young guys trying to make it big in this tag team division. And one of the greatest tag teams of this generation has now showed up. So, it'll be a great honor if we ever get the chance to step into the ring with them. And Johnny goes, hey, well, you know, I'm great friends with those guys. So how about, if you're free next week, you and the Machine Guns can, get your first match ever. Tag team match. And then Nathan Kelly and Drake James all look at each other and they go, Johnny, this would be a prize we'd treasure more than even the greatest treasure we could ever find on any journey. This could arguably be the end of our journey. The only thing better than wrestling the Motor City Machine Guns on WWE SmackDown would be becoming the WWE Tag Team Champions. So you tell Alex, you tell Chris that next week, the Labyrinth and the Motor City Machine Guns are going to do this for the first time ever. But let it be known, I hope they don't mind losing so soon into their WWE careers, because we may be still kind of new around here and still getting our feet wet around here, but we are former, I think, 2-time, maybe just one, but definitely at least once, NXT Tag Team Champions. And now those are championships that Shelley and Sabin have never held. Okay. And Johnny goes, I'll let him know. And he walks off. So yeah, already set a match up for next week. Shelley and I'm going to call him, like, I've done this for so many years when I refer to these two people by their surnames. It's always Shelley and Sabin. Like, that's just how I always end up pronouncing them. It's Shelley and Sabin against the Labyrinth next week. 80. Oh, did I know that Pete Dunne and Dante Rios had excellent chemistry? Because if I didn't, that's cool. That's arguably better than Daniel Bryan and Pete Dunne as a tag team, because it allows me to free Bryan up to go and do main event shit. But yeah, they're still called the Dragon's Dojo, at least for now. Pete Dunne and Dante Rios defeating the Creeds in a tag team match. Miles Bourne is, of course, at ringside with Gresham and Oni, and you've got Regal in the corner of the Creeds. And Miles Bourne does help Pete Dunne pin Brutus Creed with the bitter end in 1828. 84 for both Dante and Pete, 80 for Julius Creed, 75 for Brutus Creed. And yeah, nice little match and a nice win for the Dragon's Dojo duo. And after the match, Gresham, Oni, Miles all get into the ring. They celebrate. They raise Pete and Dante's arms. Regal gets into the ring to check on the Creeds. And he's sort of like, as he's in the corner tending on him, Pete Dunne sort of like just stares across at him, and then Regal steps up. He turns around and Pete Dunne's still there mugging him off, sort of like shrugs his shoulders, goes, and what? And then they all go to leave again, and Regal again taps Miles Bourne on the shoulder. And Miles turns around. And Regal sort of just looks at him in the eyes. And you can't see me, but he's like, he does the pointing of the eyes, pointing at Miles, and then he like points at Pete Dunne. And then Miles turns to Pete Dunne, and Pete's like, Miles, come on. And Miles, his head ping-pongs back and forth between Regal and Pete Dunne. And again, he does leave with Pete Dunne. He looks quite sad about doing it, but he does. Carmelo Hayes, he's in the barbershop, telling his latest promo. And he goes, I'll tell you what, it's been a big month for your boy over on SmackDown, Check this out. A couple of weeks ago, myself and Daniel Bryan, a guy I beat before, well, he was one of many, many, many world champions I've stopped on my rise to the top. Put his ass in the dirt. Not did I put his ass in the dirt, I wrote him out of commission. We may never even see him again. The great American Dragon may be out for the count because of him, me. Then I see Angelo Dawkins tripping. He's crashing out all over SmackDown because he can't handle that he couldn't beat me all those months ago. But it's good because I've got my eyes on another championship. You see me coming in with Money in the Bank. You see me coming in with the World Heavyweight Championship. But there's a bum walking around with the United States Championship. When I say a bum, I mean a bum. Like, you can't even comprehend how much of a bum this guy is, okay? You heard of Sami Zayn? Of course you haven't, because he's not important around these parts. Well, he's this scraggly, dirty, little ginger rat. And, he's the sort of guy, if he walked up to you on the street, you'd immediately pat your pockets and go, sorry, mate, haven't got any change. As for me, I was born to wear that United States Championship. Not a guy like Sami Zayn, who these people see things in. They see themselves in him. That ain't what a champion's about. Champion's about being at the very top of your game. It's about being, dare I say, him. So, Sami Zayn, when you're ready, your next challenge will be waiting for you. Just hope your old, fragile, brittle ass don't end up the same way that Daniel Bryan did, okay? Because I am him, and I'm gonna be the next United States champion, because that's all it is, and all it's ever gonna be. Then cut to Gorilla. Hams and Haley Paul of, the Learning Tree / Chase U. There's a 6-woman tag team match we announced last week. It was going to be Thea Hale, Haley Paul, and Hams against the Royal Dynasty, but then Thea quit the Learning Tree. So, Andre Chase then walks up and he goes, "Bad news, girls. I couldn't find Thea. But, tonight's not going to go well for you, I don't think. Obviously, Andre Chase University," and then we hear, off screen, we hear, ahem. And he's like, "Learning Tree University is about shocking the world and proving everybody wrong. And you two could do that tonight and beat those 3-on-1. But without fear, there's a massive gap in Learning Tree University. I can't really believe that Thea would betray us like that. So, girls, best of luck out there tonight." Handicap match gets a 70. Sure. Inherently, it is basically a tag team match at the end of the day, because Charlotte being Charlotte, the situation she finds herself in is she's in a handicap match 2-on-3 against 2 members of Chase U, of all people. And she's got a title match in 2 weeks against a champion with 1 leg. So, why was she probably even getting her hands dirty that often in the match? But, so yeah, Ava and Ariana do wrestle most of the match until right at the end, Charlotte tags herself in, and she locks Haley Paul in the figure 8, and she taps out. 69 for Hams, 56 for Haley, 68 for Ariana Grace, 69 for Ava Rain, and 82 for Charlotte. So yeah, Thea Hale nowhere to be seen. Where could she be? Well, we immediately cut backstage, and she's here. We see Thea backstage. She's sort of pacing back and forth in front of a door. She goes, "Okay, Thea. Last week didn't go so well. Your knee is still a little bit banged up after what Charlotte did to you. But Charlotte Flair, she's one of many, many of the top women here on SmackDown. She's the queen. But there's more than one queen on SmackDown. There's more than one crown you could try and take. If you want to make a name for yourself, stop being a scaredy girl, be a big grown-ass woman, pull your big girl pants up and knock on that door." She turns around and she bangs on the door, and it's the Queendom locker room door. And Cammy opens the door and she's like, "Can I help you?" And she goes, "No, I'm And she sort of snaps off and goes, Yeah, you can help me actually. I'm Thea Hale, and I want a shot at the Liberty Championship." And Cammy sort of laughs and goes, "Thea, come on. You want to wrestle the Megasis. Okay. Well, turns out the Megasis, last week she defended her championship, so this week's kind of her week off. But then Utami comes to the door and she's like, "Miss Money in the Bank is back this week, and she'd love some competition because, we're mere weeks away from her being the new Women's World Champion. So she needs some victories under her belt to remind the world what they're in store for once she cashes in that Money in the Bank briefcase to become the Women's World Champion. So, Thea, since you so graciously offered yourself up, you can have a match tonight, but it won't be against the Megasis, and it won't be for the championship. It'll be against the queen. Not Charlotte. Utami. Hayashishita. Door slams in front of Fia's face. Fia's like, well, that's a big match, Fia. Come on. Miss Money in the Bank, future world champion. If you can beat her, who knows? The sky's the limit. So Fia, out on her own, trying to prove her worth away from the learning tree, has a match with Utami coming up later on tonight. Then cut to Swerve. He's angrily pacing through the hallway, like his jacket's all like messed up and his shirt's all messed up after he's been brawling in the opening segment. And then Lord Bando goes, Swerve, boss. You should have let me know you planned on going out there early on tonight. He goes, save it, Bando. I didn't want to get you involved. It was too risky to get you out there. So, I heard the big news that you're going to be one of 4 men challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship in 2 weeks' time at Auckland Assault. He goes, yeah, I am. And Bando, I'm going to get my championship back. I don't care if it's Xavier Woods. I've shown my respect to that kid. But when that championship's on the line, I've got no respect for anybody out there. Drew McIntyre put his ass in the dirt already. Bobby Lashley, I need to put his ass in the dirt. And then Bronson Reed walks into frame. He goes, can I help you, big boy? And he goes, oh, me and Bronson here, we got to know each other over the past few weeks, and tonight I'm going to accompany Bronson Reed out to ringside for his match tonight, so we can see if he could be the next member of my embassy. And so I was like, whatever, dude. Again, you do your own thing. Me and this big guy have got a common enemy, and if he's your friend, I guess he's mine too. And then him and Bronson Reed sort of dap up, and then Swerve walks off, and then Bando is gonna see if he can recruit Bronson Reed to his group. It's not like a stable. It's just an overarching group of random people on SmackDown that are managed by Prince Nana. Sort of like the Heenan family, where, he managed a bunch of different people, but they weren't necessarily a faction. Yeah. Then see Grayson Waller and Aaliyah, making their way through the hallway. Goes, babe, I'll tell you what, I've been loving what Fatal Influence have been doing so far, lad. I know Zelina, she's not exactly my biggest fan, but I've been watching you from afar, and boy, do you look hot to start with, and B, boy, are you taking notice around here. People are starting to pay attention to you for the first time in your career. And you're actually, not only you creating an influence for other women, you're influencing myself, Grayson Waller. So tonight, it's going to be a very busy night for us, but first, I'll go speak to this wanker Nick Aldis. He knocks on his door, he opens the door, and Pete Dunne walks out and he goes, They bump into each other, and Pete's like, what are you doing? Watch where you're going. But he just sort of shoulder checks. He was like, Bill End. And he walks off. He goes, Nick. He goes, yes, Grayson, how can I help you? And he's sort of he looks back across at the open door, you can see he's pondering why Pete Dunne was in this office. He goes, anyway, lad, I hear you've got the unfortunate pleasure of having this pre-elite coming up in New Zealand. Sorry. New Zealand. That other country that's not Australia. Because I did, Grayson, and it's actually very important that you stay away from that show. And he goes, well, that's rude. In fact, I've actually booked you in a match next week against Baron Corbin. Because you and Baron Corbin, you've been trying to fight each other. It's really getting out of hand recently. So, I'm going to lock both of you inside a steel cage. Why are you doing that, lad? I said, well, because you and Corbin are trying to fight each other and rip each other's heads off every single week here on SmackDown. Quite frankly, I've had enough of it. It was either that, or we sent you to Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know, one or the other. Why would I go to... Anyway, whatever. I'll fight Corbin next week. Lock me and Corbin inside that cage, and he'll learn who the real fighter is between us two, okay? He thinks he's some sort of, tough guy. He'll see who a real tough guy is, lad. So yeah, next week, Baron Corbin, Grayson Waller steel cage match. For some reason, I thought they already had a cage match. And I'm still not convinced they didn't. But I couldn't find it if they did, so yeah. Another rated match. Bronson Reed picks up a win over The Miz with a tsunami in 7:37. Lord Bando and Bronson Reed have great chemistry. Sorry, pretty good chemistry, yes. And, yeah. You know, The Miz, he doesn't really do much. He's all the roles that he could play on SmackDown go to Grayson Waller. So, it's nice to see him. It's nice to trot him out every now and again. But yeah, Bronson Reed does pick up a win here tonight over The Miz. We then see Kayla backstage. She says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Angelo Dawkins." Angelo Dawkins walks to the frame. She goes, "Angelo Dawkins, last week we saw you, pick up a victory over Top Dollar." And he goes, "Stop it, Kayla. I didn't just pick up a victory over Top Dollar last week. I sort of snapped. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to crash out like that. I don't know what came over me. I guess it's just years and years of pent-up frustration, Kayla. You know, when the Street Profits were doing our thing. Here in WWE, it was always tears this, tears that. When Tez breaks away from Angelo Dawkins, he's going to be the one left behind. When Tez does this, Tez is a future world champion. Dawkins is going to get cut." 4 years of hearing stuff like that every single time I stepped out that curtain with my friend, my brother. And I guess I let it bottle up. Now I apologize to Top Dollar for the way I acted last week. Okay, because, well, it's always great to take accountability for your actions, but what's next for the Golden Prophet? And he goes, "Well, Kayla, I'm going to continue what I said I was going to do, and that's prove that I belong here on SmackDown, that I belong here in WWE. I'm going to prove in any way that I can that I'm a vital asset to this company. Whether that be in the ring, outside the ring, whatever I've got to do, you name it, and I'll do it. Because I'm that guy. That guy last week, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy you can trust." So Angelo Dawkins showing a little bit of remorse for his attack on Top Dollar last week. But, with Montez Ford once again sniffing around the World Championship, and Angelo Dawkins doing not really much of note on SmackDown, people would again, in this world's Twitter, would be like, "Oh, Dawkins, he was the Jannetty, haha, this, and he heard that all the time when they were a team. So, these are probably very real emotions from Angelo Dawkins that I've not really played into too much. Even when they broke up the first time, they didn't really have a proper breakup. So, this is really sort of an arc of his character I've not explained in depth too much, and realistically, it is sort of a decent way to take him, because it's, again, a very real thing that he had to deal with for 4 years. Another Neville video. He cuts a promo. He's like, "They say that the shadows hide all the darkest secrets. Well, the shadows here hide no such thing, because I wait in them. I've learnt to sit back and observe what's going on around me, and I can see clearly what SmackDown has become and what SmackDown will become. Neville, the bastard. I will be the one to bring you to reality. You know damn well who you are, walking around here like nothing's wrong. Walking around here the same as you walked around here all those years ago. And yet you can find the success you found where a guy like me cannot. So, just you get comfortable where you are, 'cause when you least expect it, the bastard will be waiting." Kyrie and Ember Moon in Gorilla ahead of the tag team match when Dakota walks up and Candice. She's like, "Hey girls," like, "Yo." And they sort of they look skeptical across at Candice. And goes, "Oh, I brought Candice here, last week I saw what she did. And, I don't worry, I've scolded her to the best of my ability. But, it's a big tag team match tonight. And may the best team win. Like, yeah, may the best team win. And then Dakota and the other two teams sort of like bump fists. They look across at Candice, and Candice sort of just glares across back at him. And then Kairi and Ember leave and go out to the ring for the match. Dakota sort of just like looks back across at Candice, like, what is the matter with you? She's like, just tag team match. Come on, let's go. A1 rated tag match. Expected given the amount of chicanery I had to put on this match, because Candice gets disqualified. So what happened is Ember and Kairi, and they were on top, you know, and they were like, they're a well-oiled team, I guess, you know, since Ember Moon's been back. She's sort of been good friends with Kairi, and Kairi's getting like a little bit of an extra pep in her step, almost like she did when she was, you know, back with Io. She's been looking sort of like, for lack of a better term, that replacement, that sub-in for Io all this time, and she's never really found. She had a little bit of a thing with Rascalz that didn't go too badly, but like, she's not really, you know, replaced Io properly yet. And, you know, Candice just sees, you know, Ember and Kairi doing their thing, and Candice does hit like the Wicked Stepsister on Ember Moon, and Ember Moon kicks out, and Candice gets visibly frustrated, like with herself, not with Ember, because, you know, it's still eating her that she lost this championship at Bad Blood. And in the end, you know, her rage just gets the better of her. She locks in some submission hold. Ember gets to the ropes. She doesn't let go for the 5 count, and the referee rings the bell. And then Dakota like rushes in, like pulls Candice off and goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And Candice is like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, I screwed up, didn't I? I screwed up." And it's like, yeah, you kind of did. And Ember and Kairi sort of like glare across angrily at Candice LeRae. And Dakota gets her belt. She like approaches Ember and Kairi, tries to calm them down, calms Kairi down as well. Like, she like orders Candice into the middle. You know, the two teams go face to face in the middle of the ring. And Dakota offers out a handshake. Ember Moon and Kairi saying shake her hands. And then she like turns across to Candice and sort of like nods across and goes like, shake. And Candice sort of just like half-assed shakes their hands, and then immediately storms out of the ring. And Dakota like watches Candice storm out of the ring, and she like rushes out to chase after, like, hey, what the hell are you doing? And like, we follow them through the back. Like, the camera angle of this segment is sort of like, you know, the New Day segment they did on Raw. Like, when you see Candice trying to like, Dakota trying to chase Candice down, and she leaves through the back, and like, then they meet up in the hallway, and Dakota's like, hey, Candice, come on, it's me. She's like, what? She goes, what the hell has gotten into you? And Candice sort of just holds her head, and she goes, I'm sorry. And Dakota goes, for what? Come on. He sort of like hops up onto a box backstage, like pats her up, like, sit down. Candice does sit next to Dakota. She goes, 2 weeks ago, I took 1 week off, and now you're like causing a fight with everybody you walk into. What is the issue here? And Candice, like, she's like ripping off her like elbow pads and shit in frustration. She goes, because I screwed up. Alright? That's what's the matter with me. I screwed up. Okay? I know that you and Tegan and Piper, you know it too. You know, goes, know what? How did you screw up? I can't say it, because this right here, like pointing at the belt. She goes, WrestleMania, I was there when you won this. And SummerSlam, you were there when I won my championship. We'd finally done it. Me and you are both champions here on SmackDown together. And within a month, I had it taken away from me. We were supposed to reign as the Liberty Champion and the World Champion, you know, for as long as I wanted. And I screwed up. I lost the championship. Because, I mean, there's always another chance to get it back. Like, it's not, like, there's no need to act like this about a champ. I know it's an important thing to lose a championship, but you're being a bit silly. It's not because of me, Dakota. It's because of you. I let you down. I didn't let myself down. So, I need to get that championship back, not for me, but for you. After everything that we went through when I lost that championship, in my first real defense to a girl who's had, 5 matches? A rookie? What, because she's got Cammy in her corner? Okay? Now, I know I've been a bit of a hothead recently, but I'm just not having that championship and being a disappointment to everybody around me. Johnny, he brought his friends in here last week. He had a big week, and I don't even know if I can look him in the face because I'm a loser again. And nobody thinks you're a loser, We'll get you that championship back, okay? I understand that we all have our problems. Trust me, I know that. But there's no need to take it out on everybody you see. Ember and Kyrie, they're our allies in this war in the grand scheme of things. Okay, you don't want to alienate people that are on your side. Because then you'll end up with nobody but myself. And if you've got nobody but me, well, that's not going to be very good for you when I've got to defend my Women's World Championship now, has it? Okay, it's like, you're right. I hate that it had to happen like this, and it had to happen in front of the world. But I needed someone to smack me back down to reality. Okay, well, it's going to take a lot more than this to break us up after everything we've been through. Realistically, I can't think of anything you could possibly do to, make me kick you to the curb. Because, I can't really think of anything you could do either. And they sort of turn around and they see Cammy and Utami walking through past them to the gorilla for their match. And then Candace sort of gets all angry. So, listen, just let them go do their thing. They're not our problem right now. Just go calm down. And she ushers Candace away. And then she's jumped by Charlotte and Co. after Candace leaves. And Charlotte continues to attack Dakota's injured knee. And Charlotte squats down, she picks out the belt, she holds the belt. And she goes, "Aw, what a lovely speech. Motivating your friends to get back championships. All while you are, have one foot in the grave already." Huh, one foot is very apt, because you can only walk on one foot right now, can't you? Because this knee belongs to me. And in 2 weeks' time, in front of your friends and your family, this championship will also belong to me. Because you can't make me submit. But I can pop your knee bone out of its body and send you back on the shelf for another 10 months with another ACL tear. She sort of drops the belt on Dakota. And her and Ariana walk off. Ava Rain lingers for a little bit longer, looking down at Dakota, before eventually following Charlotte and Ariana away. 76 rated match. Thea Hale again goes over 10 minutes with a top star, and Utami is able to put her down with a hijack bomb at 12:49. 83 for Utami, 59 for Thea. So, and also she is kind of working on an injured leg, because Charlotte did lock her in the figure 4 last week as well. But yeah, Utami picked up the win. And then, I've got to, take a drink, because I've got another long talking segment coming up. Cammy takes the mic. And she goes, "Thea Hale, everybody. One day, maybe, just maybe, she'll have what it takes to make it here on SmackDown. But not everybody has what it takes to make it here on SmackDown. Some people toil away for years before they get the opportunity to become champion. Others, like Thea Hale, are still waiting for that opportunity. Others walk through the door day one and take opportunity. Like the Megasis right here, the new Liberty champion, who last week made the first defense of her championship in dominant fashion. But enough about the Megasis. Let's talk about Queendom's domination around here, because Queendom, ever since we cut ties with dead weight, we haven't shown any signs of slowing down. Every single time we step into this ring, we win. Utami Hayashishita, Miss Money in the Bank, another victory here tonight. Soon to be the Women's World Champion. Julia and Yoko Uehara, the most underrated women's tag team in WWE today, Regina Del Mondo. And Saya, the best friend of the heir apparent, the current queen. Another future top star in her own right. And all of you at home, miss their old queen. Because it's funny. It's funny they sit there and they say, we want Io. Where's Io? Io has not been around for a while. Guess what? I'll tell them exactly where Io is. Io's right here. And she pulls the mask out of her back pocket. Like, holds it in her hand. Goes, this is the symbol of the old queendom. The queendom that let every single one of us down back at WrestleMania when she lost the crown and she lost the World Championship. And then let us down once again at SummerSlam because she thought she knew better and didn't need our help. But where is she now? Her head's in my hands. Her championship will soon be around the waist of her understudy. And her show will always belong to Queendom, and more specifically, to me. That's when Becky and Lyra Valkyria come out. Becky gets into the ring. She, looks down at her sunglasses at Cammy and Queendom. And she goes, You must be... Gosh. You must be... Is it Cammy? I've heard a lot about you, you know. I heard a lot of the times when I was over being the top star on Monday Night Raw. I heard all about this other Irish girl over here who led her own group of women to the top of SmackDown. And I thought, well, doesn't that sound great? But they're no Becky Lynch, let's be real. Now, over on Monday Night Raw, myself and my misfits are embarking on our global world tour. You know, we recently recruited our newest member, by the way. You know, she'll have a inauguration into the group this Monday night. But by honor of being the women's tag team champions, she says, pointing to her and Lyra. And she's like, I can travel to whatever show I want to. And I heard a little birdie tell me that somebody on this brand wants a piece of Big Time Bex. And I can only think, if you think this brand belongs to you, it must have been you. Because I know what this is, okay? You sit around here, you got all these Japanese women, you know, there's a lot of talent in Japan. I know, I've wrestled there back in my youth. But you want a piece of this Irish taste too, don't you? You want a piece of the Becky Stardust limelight. And Cammy's like, absolutely not. Just, they all say that to say at the start. You know, my best friend Killer Kelly, she was once stubborn like you, but she eventually saw the light. The spotlight that I put on her. But it seems that if you're gonna be sticking to your guns, and you don't want to, you know, share the limelight with Big Time Becky Stardust and the Misfits, then we might have a problem. And that's when Shayna Baszler and Carmella come out. And Shayna goes, Becky, over here, bitch. You know, you're chatting to the wrong woman right now. Because it wasn't Cammy who called your ass over here to SmackDown for those tag team championships. It was me, it was Carmella, it was the Fierce and the Fabulous. You see, Becky, I've never liked you. 4 years ago, when I first got started here on the WWE main roster, everything that I worked so hard to achieve was ripped away from me by you. And all these years later, I couldn't shake that loss. That loss to you, Becky, at WrestleMania. It ruined my career. So much so, I had to leave, go down south, and reinvent myself, where me and Carmella formed a bond. Now we came back here to take over WWE, but I can't take over WWE until that monkey is off my back. So, you want to walk around here pretending that you're the women's tag team champions? I think that's quite frankly a disgrace, because you're not the women's tag team champions. Hell, you don't even acknowledge your tag team partner as a champion. And Lyra's there with her arms out like, thank you. Like, zip it, bird girl. Shut your beak. And she like turns around to Shayna and goes, continue. Goes, so, I don't know what their deal is, but I know what ours is. Ours is to get that championship, those championships, off of you and put them around the waist of real, hard-working women's tag teams who deserve them. And Becky sort of just stares blankly at Shayna. And she's like, you gonna say anything, bitch? And Becky's like, oh, I've got it. And then Shayna's like, what have you got? Becky goes, Shayna! Oh my god, it's been so long, I almost forgot your name. You know, in my life, my big time, New York Times bestseller, meeting the president life. People, they come and go. People make big impacts on me. Some of them not so much. So, I almost forgot who you were. I thought you were Ronda Rousey. But, if you want to take up and step up to big time Bex, I mean, I get it. If these bitches back here don't want the championships, I guess we'll defend them against you. And the camera's like, whoa, hold on. I mean, now you're putting words into our mouth, because I never said we didn't want the championships. You just came out here and got up in our grill. We weren't going to let you leave, without taking something of our own. But since you've brought those championships out here, and you've had the pleasure of showing up here with those championships, we already have the Liberty Championship. We have the golden ticket to the Women's World Championship. Those are the last things we need to cement Queendom Omega as the dominant force here on SmackDown. So sure, we'll take those championships if you're offering. Then Becky's like, I'm not. Then Nick Aldis goes, ladies, please stop the petty bickering. First of all, Becky, it's a privilege to have someone like you over here on SmackDown. And then Becky nods her head and goes, thank you, Nicholas, thank you. Anyway, you appear to have made some enemies around here. So, I already made one match, or I saw one match be made here tonight for Auckland, so I'm going to make another. Anything Adam Pearce can do, I can do just as good. So, Becky, you and Lyra Valkyria will defend the Women's Tag Team Championships at Auckland Assault against both Queendom Omega and Carmella and Shayna Baszler in a triple threat women's tag team match. And Becky's like, triple threat, huh? Not the first time I've heard those words, and it sure won't be the last, Nicholas. But anybody who wants to take a piece of us will be waiting. So yeah, triple threat tag team match for the Auckland show. Becky and Lyra against Queendom Omega and against the Fierce and the Fabulous. Should be a hoot. We then cut back to Pretty Deadly. And can you believe it? All this hype for two washed up indie vanilla guys, okay? Two old men who have never had style in their life. They still walk around wearing leather and jeans at the age of, 42? It's not the 2000s anymore. No boy. Anyway. And then Brooks Jensen goes, hey boys. And then Tony B's like, no. Absolutely not. And he goes, what? All you've been, ever since we won the Money in the Bank briefcase back at Money in the Bank, is a liability, Brooks Jensen. First of all, you nearly gave away their briefcase because you wanted to smell some crappy cologne sold to you by Omos. And Brooks like, but it smelled good. That's besides the point. And second of all, you took the pinfall to those two old men last week. Us here at the Marks and Man Models, we don't accept that. Do you want to know the real secret, Brooks? We never invited you into this group because we thought you could be a model. We did it because you wanted to stick a dagger through the heart of Otis. And we thought that maybe there was a canvas of which we can create the next male model, but it's a lost cause, Brooks. And Brooks is like, what do you mean? She goes, what do you mean? What do you think I mean, Brooks? Can you not work this out? You're done. Get out of here. We don't want you around here stinking up the place. Because, yeah, you stink. Brooks goes, well, And Tony goes, out of our locker room. And Brooks Jensen sulks off. So, yeah, Brooks Jensen has been excommunicated from the Max and Male Models. It's going to be Tonya Breeze, Kit Wilson, Elton Prince, I guess, together now. Having him in there was fun, but, you know, he's really accomplished all he's going to do at this stage. He'll go back to NXT, do some shit down there, get a new character, and we'll probably see him again in the future. But his little run here has come to an end. We then see Thea Hale. You know, she's in the doctor's room getting checked up on. It's like, Thea, you've got a visitor. It's Andre Chase. He walks in. He goes, Thea, and she like tries to get up and leave, and he like puts his arm out to stop and goes, please, just 2 minutes. And she sits down. She's like, what do you want? And he pulls the chair up. He sits down. He goes, Thea, we've been trying to reach you all day. She goes, did you not get the hint last week when I said I quit? He goes, I heard you loud and clear, Thea. It's just, I really think we need you. Thea goes, do you know who I need? Mr. Chase. Sorry, Andre. I need Mr. Chase, but I don't got Mr. Chase anymore, do I? I've got Andre Chase, the learning tree lackey bitch boy. Okay? I signed up to chase you because it changed my life and my career. And those were the best years of my life. But sometimes you gotta accept that they're finished. Sometimes you gotta accept that everybody that you looked up as a mentor in this industry isn't who they say they are. Andre Chase sort of looks confused. What do you mean by that? She goes, Mr. Chase, the Chase U spirit was, well, everything the learning trees is not. Yet you sit back here and you do nothing as Chris Jericho drives the former Andre Chase University into the ground. Do you know what we could do? You can grow a pair of balls and quit. Because the longer you sit around taking orders from a guy like that, the more the Mr. Chase that I knew and looked up to dies. And Andre Chase looks down sad. And he looks up and he goes, Thea, you know why we can't do that. I'm so proud of you for stepping away and trying to do things on your own. You know, you may be 0-2, but you took two of the top stars here on SmackDown to their absolute limit. You don't need to be a part of this. But I can't quit. You know why I can't quit. If I quit, what do I have? Jericho, he owns the university. He owns the Chase U likeness. He owns everything that I had. Quitting, as much as I may want to quit and not listen to everything he's got to say, it's not an option for me. It was an option for you, and you took it. But it's not an option for me. Because if I quit, it's over. If I quit, Jericho wins. Sophia, good luck with your career. But for now, I've got a tree to sit under. And he walks off. And Thea, does sort of feel a little bit of resentment because, Andre Chase has sat back and done nothing, basically. But also, a little bit of empathy because, you know, he was right. You know, he can't just quit, because if he does quit, then Chase U is dead. So, we're in a very picky situation right now. Next week, we've got 2 matches set for next week's show. The first being a tag team match. The first actual tag team match of the Motor City Machine Guns' WWE career, when they take on the Labyrinth from following their backstage interaction with Johnny Gargano earlier on tonight. Plus, a steel cage match, Baron Corbin and Grayson Waller. You know, they've been fighting at each other's throats for the last, 2 or 3 months. It finally ends next week. And we've got 2 matches now set for the upcoming Auckland Assault Premium Live event. The first is a fatal 4-way match for the World Heavyweight Championship, as Xavier Woods, you know, the numbers aren't in his favour. He's got to defend against not only Bobby Lashley, but also Drew McIntyre and Swerve Scott in a fatal 4-way match. Plus, another multi-person tag team defense as Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria defend the Women's Tag Team Championships against both Queendom Omega's Regina Del Mondo, Julia and Yoko Uehara, plus the Fierce and the Fabulous Carmella and Shayna Baszler in, you know, just over 2 weeks' time at Auckland Assault. We then see the Revolution backstage. Buster's cutting a fiery up promo and he goes, "Months ago, these 2 men stood behind me, were in the dirt. Months ago, you'd all forgotten that Nebo Barnes and Rufus Hamilton even existed. But when the world-famous Buster Gates came back, I did so with a statement and a mission, and that wasn't just to let the world know who the hell I am. It was to remind the world who the hell these 2 men are and why they're by the side of my revolution in the first place. And now here we are, SmackDown main event, WWE Tag Team Championships on the line. You know, when Seth Rollins called us up 2 years ago, it was to try and get us on the path to greatness in our career. Together, we'd rise all ships and all 3 of us would rise to the top together. Win, lose, or draw, that's everything that we've done over the past few years. And tonight, it's all up to this, right here, right now, the main event of SmackDown. Nebo, Rufus. It's time to go make history. It's time for the Revolution to be televised worldwide in the main event of Friday Night SmackDown. Championship gold on the line. Boys, truck, hit our music. 88. Banger. You know, I'm glad it's good because the Revolution aren't winning, but they need a strong showing here. And they got one because Nebo Barnes outscored everybody in this match. So, yeah, for Nebo specifically, this was a really big breakout performance. But, yeah, it is RKO who come out on top. Randy Orton dropping Rufus Hamilton with an RKO in 13:44. Defense number 3 of the Tag Team Championships has been made. 80 for Randy, 89 for Ilya, 70 for Rufus, and 91 for Nebo. Yeah, big win. You know, they came together to fight off the Learning Tree. Now I've got the big Tag Team Championship defense here. After the match, Randy and Ilya offer the handshake out. There's no drama like with Candice earlier on tonight. They accept it. They both shake hands. They shake hands with Buster. When the Hurt Business storm the ring, Ricochet, Damon Kemp, Ronnie Hughes, and Bobby Lashley storm the ring. And they jump RKO and they jump the Revolution. And, you know, Damon Kemp and Ronnie Hughes take down Nebo and Buster, or Nebo and Rufus. Lashley pulls Buster Gates to the outside. He hits that running, whatever the fuck you even want to call it. It's like the move he's got him on your shoulders, and he runs into the ring post like that. He hits that on Buster Gates. You know, Ricochet's out there. He's probably got a weapon of some sort because he's Ricochet. And MVP takes the mic as the beatdown's happening. He's like, so why, oh why, ladies and gentlemen, should the almighty Bobby Lashley get all the fun? Earlier on tonight, it was announced that Bobby Lashley will be one of 4 men competing for the World Heavyweight Championship at the upcoming Premium Live event in New Zealand. But I say, why do the Hurt Business only need 1 piece of championship gold when they can get 3. I saw that Queendom bitch come out here today and say that she wanted her squad to dominate the women's division, and that's exactly what the Hurt Business are going to do here for the men. You know, they lay out. They a particularly mean beating on the Revolution. Lashley spears Buster through a barricade or whatever. They continue the assault. You know, they probably tear up a little bit of ringside as well, and hit one of them, Rufus, on the concrete on the outside. And then they continue, like, they're down, so they all turn 4-on-2 on Randy and Ilya. And then the New Day run out to try and make the save. And the numbers are still against them. Bronson Reed storms out as well. He, like, takes down Ricochet. He doesn't take down Ricochet, because he takes down Damon Kemp. He takes down Ronnie Hughes. He goes face-to-face with Ricochet. Ricochet's holding a weapon. Bronson Reed's mean-mugging him. And before he can even get his hands on his former tag team partner, Bobby Lashley spears Bronson Reed. He puts him in the Hurt Lock. As Lashley goes to fade, Swerve comes in. He hits a house call kick on Bobby Lashley. He rocks him. And Swerve and Lashley brawl. Him and Xavier Woods work together and, like, clothesline him out of the ring. Woods hits a big dive on the outside onto Lashley. And then when Swerve turns around, he eats a Claymore. And Drew's all, like, gets in Swerve's face, like, shaking face. Oh, he goes, you cost me, okay? All of this was because you couldn't leave well enough alone, huh? You've already ruined my career, damn near ruined my life. Now I'm gonna ruin yours. He picks Swerve up. He hits another Claymore on him. And we go off the air with just a big brawl. Like, it doesn't end when we, well, like, go, oh, we've got to end and then end the show. Like, we go off the air as everybody is still fighting around the ring. And yeah, more chaos, okay. 2 very chaotic endings this week. One to Raw, one to SmackDown. You know, ECW's was a more tame ending. But that's up a big match for next week. But yeah, more chaos. The Hurt Business, the New Day, RKO, Revolution. Everybody's out there. Drew, Swerve, Bronson Reed. Big fight to end the show. 84-8 show. Yeah, nice. Pretty good. We're building nicely towards Auckland and the following pay-per-views. But yeah, I'll see you on the other side for Velocity, where coming out of High Voltage, we do have a new Cruiserweight champion. His name is the Cruiserweight Classic, Cedric Alexander. We kick off Velocity with a fucking in-ring promo. You know, when do you ever see that on Velocity? Cedric Alexander, the Cruiserweight champion, comes out to the ring. And yeah, he gets into the ring and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. You are welcome as you stand in the most important age of cruiserweight wrestling this company's ever seen. You know, every single time this company has dipped its hands in cruiserweight wrestling, it's never ended well. The first time the championship ended when a leprechaun became the champion. The second time, boy did everything get rocking and rolling with that Cruiserweight Classic. Led to me getting a contract in this damn company in the first place because I was so damn good in it. And then the show just fizzled out because they didn't give it the care nor the attention that it deserved. And I know because I was there front and center for that. So this time has been a success. You know, Axiom was one of the greatest cruiserweight champions this company's ever seen. But not anymore. Because now you're once again living in a very, very important age of the cruiserweight division. You're living in the age of Alexander. As the Cruiserweight Classic, as the last of a dying breed of this division, this championship does not leave my grasp until I deem any single one of my competitors worthy of taking it from me. So when Zachary Ben Shahar comes out, and he's like, Cedric, you know, mate, you're not exactly the only guy still around here from the original days of the Cruiserweight division, because I've been down there in NXT UK, and then in NXT, and recently on Velocity, grinding my way up to the top. And Cedric, it's been 8 years. 8 long years. But all I can think about is you and me and Alicia Fox. Tariq goes, that's it. That's your career. Your highlight of the career was 8 years ago in that dead-ass cruiserweight division. You ain't stepped up. You changed your name, but not your attitude. I see how you are. So how about it? Let's see if you really are all that. Tonight, you could be the first victim of the age of Alexander. So yeah, main event set. Cedric Alexander against Zachary Ben-Shahar for the Cruiserweight Championship. You know, these are two of the dying embers of 205 Live left. 65 rating. I still haven't changed Amira and David Martin's chem. And yeah. David Martin does submit Time Ali with the Arc of Triumph in 4 minutes and 35 in the speed tournament. Obviously, he comes to the ring, he cuts now a promo about how he's not actually French, how he was never French, and how it was easy to manipulate France or whatever. And yeah, David Martin advances into the next round of the tournament, where he'll face the winner of our second match tonight, which is Angel Garza against Mark Andrews. But before then, Funaki's backstage. And he's interviewing Tristan Ellison and Leslie Young of, I guess, formerly MSK, but they're not MSK at the minute. He's like, boys, tonight you're in a Cruiserweight Trios Championship Contenders Tournament match. Well, I say tournament, it's one match this week, one match next week, and then the two winners face to get a title shot. It's great to see MSK back here on Velocity. And then they sort of like look to their left, and there's a gap, and they went, you know, we did reach out to Wes, but he ignored us. Wes ain't got the time of day for MSK anymore. So, what we did is we hit up another one of our idols. We hit up a hero of ours. We hit up Rob Van Dam. We said, hey Rob, you able to lose some weight and become 205 pounds? And he said no. But he did send himself a replacement for Wes Lee. They'll be our tag team partner tonight. In walks Dudley. He's like, alright chaps, you know, I heard Rob said you need a favour from me. I'm like, you know, yeah, but we'd appreciate it. You know, Wes Lee's been doing his own thing over on Raw right now, and we'd even want to really be a part of that. And I was like, well, you know, I could do with getting myself back in the win column, so, you know, you want a partner, you got him. So yeah, Dudley will team up with the two remaining members of MSK later on tonight, but first, we get the second speed match. Angel Garza defeats Mark Andrews in the speed tournament. He will face David Martin next week. 90 for Angel Garza, 77 for Mark Andrews. 73 rated trios match. 3 guys from AAA, Flamita, Futuro, and El Elemental, face Dudley and MSK. Dudley picks up the win for his team with a Dudley device in 14:34. 82 for Dudley, 69 for Leslie, 68 for Tristan, 51 for Elemental, 52 for Futuro, and a 66 for Flamita. So yeah, next week there'll be another trios match, and the winner of that match will face Dudley and Leslie Young and Tristan Ellison for a title shot. Then a 77 rated main event. Cedric, what the fuck is happening with these people? Cedric was off his game and got a 71, and he was outscored by Zachary Ben-Shahar. Okay. You know, these comments I'm getting in these press conferences are like, so-and-so was off his game, how do you feel about that? And I'm always like, you know what happens, you know. Maybe I'm going to start not saying that, because this actually is starting to irritate me. 71 for Cedric, 75 for Zachary Ben-Shahar. But yeah, of course, Cedric does win. I just wanted to do the funny Alicia Fox callback. But yeah, that ends the show. Gets us a 72. Pretty fine episode of Velocity. And yeah, I'll see you next time for Raw. See you then.